My wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom, I welcome you to Skolante TV, where we bring to you news that concerns the restoration of Biafra and freedom all over the world. In this video, I will be bringing to you the recent lamentation from the zoo terrorist general military called Musa over our Prime Minister, the dragon himself, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and the zoo Gota Media's lamentation as well over the Biafran movement and the restoration of the kingdom of God on earth, being the Biafra nation, which God has ordained, and nothing shall stop it. But before I dive into it, let me quickly welcome back to my channel those of you that have been following my videos, and if you are new, I welcome you and urge you to do well to click that subscribing button, like the video, click that bell icon so that anytime I upload another video you'll be well notified. And other than that, let's dive into it.
You are living in darkness, suffering and smiling. When we talk about freedom, not good and best.
So we are starting from this news where our PM posted breaking, and Musa, the commander of terrorist military army Nigeria, cries and wailed. So that is what PM posted, and the channel says Simon Ekpa must be arrested and be prosecuted. CDS Christopher Musa vows. Alright, CDS, I believe, should be Chief of Defense Staff. Okafa. Alright, so this is the news that channels carried because they interviewed these terrorists. Okay, so but let us go straight for you guys to hear from the terrorist himself responding to the Gota media of the channel's television. Our PM now posted and says the latest wailing of Musa, a terrorist in uniform, calling for arrest of a good guy. Our PM, the good guy, who stopped them from killing Biafrans while their few terrorists has sacked all the villages in Vice President Shetima's state. Simon Ekpa is his problem. Democracy Day, crying 12/6/2024 on Channels Television. That is the day the interview was conducted, or should they call, what did they call it, town hall meeting or whatever they called it. Okay, Biafrans have rejected your terror organization. So PM now wrote to Musa. Alright, so let's hear the terrorist Musa responding.
And then externally, we have external people that equally support them. The issue of IPOP. There's a lot of funding that comes in there. Yes.
Are you worried? Because you know an operation,
Of course, definitely.
a special operation on the sit-at-home IPOP situation in the southeast.
Yes.
But some of the elements and the leaders of this group are outside of the country.
Yes. We have repeatedly complained about the issue of Simon Ekpa. He's in Finland. The Finnish government are giving him all the support, and he's doing what he's doing. The comments he's making, people are being killed, and nothing is being done. And this is democracy. If the European Union is the one supporting democracy and this is happening and they're not taking action, then they don't mean well for Nigeria. We have said that in clear terms. We need to diplomatically find means of getting him out or whatever it is that he's doing. He must be arrested, he must be prosecuted. Look at it from the other way. Assuming he is in Nigeria and he's doing that to the Finnish government, you think the European Union will allow that to happen? They definitely will not. So why are they allowing him to do what he's doing? And people like him that are doing such things. Channeling the funds is very critical. I know a lot of the First Central Bank, the NFIU, are doing a lot in tracking down how the funds flow. And this is part of what we call the oxygen of terrorism, is logistic, leadership, and funding. Your ability to be able to tackle those things and trail them and deny them the ability to operate will kill terrorism with good governance. Now, you can see the statistics that came in. Political will. And political will is not from federal government alone. The states are critical. For me, if I look at the aspects, what do we need? Let's look at solutions. Do we have a comprehensive database of Nigerians? If you go to Chad, Cameroon, and Niger, once you enter, they know you are not a Nigerian. And they have this duty as citizens. Once you speak, the man knows you are not a Nigerian. The next thing he tells you, if he's a taxi driver, he tells you his vehicle has a problem. He's calling the gendarmes. Before you know it, the gendarmes are coming to ask you, what are you doing in our country? We don't have that. That's what we're saying is a holistic thing that we have to do. Every Nigerian has a role to play in what's going on ground, and then we must look at these things and take it up as a challenge. It's not a military or a security.
Okay, my people, I believe you guys did hear him. What did you even understand this man saying? These guys will be lamenting Simon Ekpa, a terrorist. He's causing his statements, helping people to, kill themselves, that he makes utterances and people will now be killing themselves. But you'll be asking, how can somebody just make utterance, people kill themselves? What is the foundation of the problem? The person you are calling terrorist is a legal practitioner, is a military personnel, reserve for that matter, okay, is a politician in the country that you are calling for his kidnap, because actually these guys are not talking about arrest. They use the word arrest, but they are not actually planning on arresting anybody, because they know that they can't arrest. Are you arresting him for what? For speaking out his mind in self-defense of his people? You can't arrest somebody that is expressing his freedom of speech and freedom of living and self-determination, defending his people. How can you arrest him? They know they can't arrest, so they are not talking about arresting. Okay, when you hear arrest, is the word they use, but behind it they are talking about kidnap. They say that they arrested Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. How can you arrest somebody without passport in another man's country, and you brought the person back to Nigeria as kidnap, and you covered the person's face, and they are asking you, where did you get him? Till today you refuse to say. You came out publicly and said that the Interpol was a help. Interpol came out and denied that they did not even know what you are talking about. So who is now a criminal? I don't know why Nigerians, so-called Nigerians, zoo people, can't reason. The same people will come and be attacking Biafrans. But we give them what anyways on the comment section. So, but it baffles me how this guy, all these people, what they talk. So this is what Musa said. Let me move over to the next news. That is how he lamented on the 12th of June, which they called Democracy Day. But PM asked everybody to disregard that nonsense, that we do not accept any Democracy Day of Zugeria. So calling for the kidnap of Simon Ekpa, and they know that it's impossible. We move over to the next one. So see where channels continues to post their, actually they are making our PM famous by putting him on the front pages of the newspaper. The so-called Musa terrorist is calling another person a terrorist. Musa called on the Nigerian government to take decisive action, including exploring diplomatic option to curb the menace of the IPOB factional leader. I don't know which IPOB these people are talking about. Our PM always declares who he is to the Biafran people. He is the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. I don't know whether they don't hear English or they are deaf. So if they are avoiding to call government in exile, they will not have any option. They must call it, because that is established government all over the world. Okay, and we are not the first to start it. So our PM now posted here, and I read: breaking: as the Biafra declaration of 2nd December 2024 comes closer, our objective is to see Biafra total freedom from Nigeria, which will help to restore peace and stability in the entire Sahel region. It will also help to end terrorism in West Africa, because the target of the terrorists, with the help of Nigeria government, is to take over Biafra territory and then start launching attacks against the West and America. The Biafran Republic government in exile, BRGIE, under my leadership, has hired one of the prominent lobbying firms in Washington, D.C. to represent Biafra government effective from 12/6/2024. Our arms remain wide open to other possibilities across board. Biafrans are ready to make friends with whoever is willing to help in the liberation. We have no enemies other than Nigeria terrorist states. That was well written, my PM. You see, very well constructed write-up from our PM. He made so many things very clear here, that we are world recognized government, that the government of Biafra has already engaged in a diplomatic activities. They have engaged with a lobbying firm, so, and they understand what it is. So they are not just talking about the men on the ground that are defending our territory and things like that. They are exploring all angles, all aspects, for us to gain our freedom from this terrorist state of Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. So that is what he's doing. So I like this write-up. It's well articulated in this write-up. This is a video of this prophet. Just listen very carefully and hear what this man says, okay? And what he said in this video, I really believe it, because nobody can stop the restoration of this Biafra this time around. Listen.
All over the world, my name is Prophet Elijah Bamidele. Quickly, I want to speak on the video of our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who mistakenly fell down in an event today, June 12, 2024. Different blog, different social media platforms are carrying it, and I go through a lot of comments and I see people saying a lot of things. Some are even praying that you should not stand up, you should go from there. I think this is not what we need right now. Yes, the country is very hard now. Things are on the outside. Our mothers can no longer go to the market, go to the farm in peace and come back with happiness. You can't go to the market now with money and come back with food stuff that you'll be happy with. Things are falling apart. No one is happy. The country is just going upside down. I understand. But listening to what God said I should tell the Nigerians, both the ones in Nigeria and the ones in diaspora. Let us pray that nothing should happen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If anything happens to him, if anything happens to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the number 2 takes over the leadership of Nigeria, God, Jesus Christ, what I see, what I am seeing will shock everybody. We can still walk around now. That time will come. Military regime will be better than what we find ourselves. Because I'm a spiritual man. I see things even before it happens. That was why God gave me the revelation about the coming of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In 2018, I said it. I prophesied it in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. All these years, for 5 good years, I was talking about the coming of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot of people said I was chasing cloud. Some people said I was a prophet of doom. That President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will never rule Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, today it might interest you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, this is not the time for us to pray. There is a rope holding Nigeria. And this rope holding Nigeria is tied to the waist of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If anything happened to this man and someone else takes over, number 2 takes over, oh Jesus, animals will be well recognized, will be more recognized than me as you. This is my counsel. If it happens to be that everybody is fed up with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you want him out by all means, you want him to go down, you want number 2 to take over, you want no challenge. This is my counsel. Federal government of Nigeria, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Leave Simon Ekpa alone and give Biafra to the Igbos. Give Biafra to the Igbos. So that when that time comes, which I don't pray, which I did not see, I pray and I still did not see number 2 taking over. But if peradventure number 2 takes over, I beg make una give Biafra to the Igbos, so that people like us can locate to Biafra land and start a new life. I know what I'm talking about. This is how I come out to shout. A lot of you will be abusing me, you will insult me, call me.
Okay, my people, I think that's where I will stop it. I wanted you guys to hear all he just said. Okay, he didn't say much than this, he just repeated it again. You can see people that are seeing what we are seeing. Biafra will be the only place for safety when these terrorist maludas will begin to handle the indigenous people of that zoological republic. There is no other place. The people that are telling us today that they are not Igbos, all these Niger Delta, so-called Niger Delta people are saying we are not Biafra, we are not. They will beg us. It's not, it's because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's good heart that made us to be pampering them, telling them, okay, we will not go without them. Mazi came and made it. Even when they are mocking us, Mazi stood and started sensitizing everyone, and so many of them actually are with us right now, but so many are not as well. Okay, and why I'm not bothered about that is even we that are the Igbo speakers, not everybody supports what we are doing, right? So that's why I don't blame them. So, but again, if it happens that as they are telling us, Igbos go, if we go as they want us to go, we will still be very much fine, and they will beg us to join. So we know what we are doing, but we don't just want to be selfish, because there are some other people from there that are with us, so we are carrying them. That's why PM came and started doing exactly the same thing Onyindu was doing. Even when people were pressurizing him to leave all these South, these Niger Delta people, that they are not doing the sit at home that we have been doing, that we are the ones that are bearing the brunt, he refused to accept all those things. Why? Because he saw his master, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, did the same thing. Even in the midst of Agog, in the midst of, kind of war, people were fighting. No, leave them. Why are you so? In fact, even the people he was fighting for to be included will come and say, Are you forcing us to accept that we are Biafra? We say we are not Biafra. Why are you putting us? Mazin will still continued what he was saying. So as our PM came, he started the same thing. I've not seen what our PM is doing today that Mazin never did. I have never seen one. The only difference between Onyindu and our PM is that our Onyindu was surrounded by criminals in the DOS, and even criminals, the Omada, some of the women that surrounded him were still criminals. There were still bad eggs, around Onyindu. Even the wife, okay? So a lot of bad people around him. That's just the difference. But today we see people around our PM are people that are, like-minded. But another thing is that PM had already learned from what happened to our leader. So if he sees you with any atom of, any iota of rebellion, he will just, give you that long spoon, correct you, and if you don't listen, he will kick you out. So he doesn't have preferential treatment for anybody, you understand? So, and I like his leadership so far that I've seen it. All right, so we have heard this man as he said that the prayer is that this man should not die, and I think it's true, because if Tinubu should actually die, as people want him to die, they don't know that the person that will take over is even worse. This is the head of terrorists now wants to take over. You can imagine what will become the output that will be emanating from that zoological republic of animal kingdom. So my people, we should just fight for our freedom and forget about what happens to Nigeria. Even if Tinubu dies, even if military takes over, it doesn't matter. We are out. That is what we need. We are out. If anything is happening, it doesn't concern us. So what we need is just to fortify our men so that when it comes to any measure, we will be up to the task. We will meet them any way they want it. That's just what we need, and PM has been clamoring for it. So this is a word from this man of God, and I believe that Biafra will be restored, and people that will want to come for safety will welcome you. All right, we move to the next one. So you can see Delhi carries the news about PM. Okay, so PM says Biafra declaration will restore peace, stability to West Africa. BRGIE. One good thing with our PM right now is that God has brought him to a position whereby once he speaks, media of even the zoo and international wise are carrying it. In his Twitter spaces, you always will see that there are some journalists in that space. In our fundraising, they come every time. They listen to him. They know his ideology. They know everything. So when these people are calling him terrorist, they can't fool everybody now. People that are learned and have mind to reason. People in the zoo don't actually reason anymore like human beings. That's a problem. Okay, actually you can see so many media outlets. This one is can see Nigerian newspaper carried it. Daily's Post Nigeria carried it. So many people began to carry the news. So now PM posted this profound news. It says, breaking: picture has emerged from Finnish newspaper of Finnish woman collecting money for Biafra in Leiti, Tori. That's his city, our PM's city in Finland. The same market square where Nigeria IPOP staged a protest against Simon Ekpa in Finland 2023. This woman was collecting money for independence of Biafra in 1968. Wow. So he said, in my own city of Leti, she is one of the heroines of Biafra. And you can see the picture here. Okay, you can see her. So for people to understand that God actually took our PM to Finland, a country that was there for Biafrans even during the time that communication was a burden. Okay, it was really difficult for people to know what is going on in the other side of the world, but Finland stood with Biafrans. Okay, even they actually fasted. They went on hunger fast so that people will, commiserate with the starvation that the Biafran people were going through from the hands of the terrorist Nigeria government. And many of our children, mother, were dying out of starvation. So Finland stood with Biafrans, commiserated with Biafrans, so they know the history of Biafra. And God took our PM, took him to the same nation, a nation that still fought for their freedom, and they liberated themselves from Russia. It was a brutal war. They understand what freedom is all about. A country that stood with Namibia for Namibia to gain independence from South Africa. What more can you say about Finland? Okay, so there's nothing zoo government can do, because Finnish government understands what Simon Ekpa, their citizen, is actually doing for his people. They know, and even they will even support him because he is fighting for a just cause. So we move over to the next one. You can see our PM dancing and he says, this is how I'm responding to terrorist Commander Musa of the terrorist military of the Zulgaria. See that here. Okay, so I stop it here because of some copyright issues, so we move over to the next one. This TVC always talks about our PM, and if you hear the analysis, sometimes it's really laughable. So they are just analyzing rubbish. So just let's hear them talk more.
The Biafran government in exile is in the eye of the storm as we speak.
My people, I don't know whether you heard him started with Biafran Republic government in exile. Okay, he didn't know when he started talking about this. All of a sudden, he now changed and said that he is the leader of IPOP. Just listen. Let's start afresh.
The Biafran government in exile is in the eye of the storm as we speak.
You heard it? Biafran government in exile. Okay, now let's continue so that you now hear when he knows that is Biafran government in exile. He said it right now, right? But he will now later get himself and change it to now the leader of IPOP proscribed. And Nonsense.
Speak. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has accused the Finnish government and the European Union of shielding the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Festival General has called for the arrest and extradition of Simon Ekpa to the country. The disquiet in southeast Nigeria is believed to be provoked by the Finland-based compound terror balloon.
So, my people, you can see them. Quite often, I laugh at these people. I don't know whether they are telling them not to mention the name. Oh, don't call that name. Biafran government in exile. No, don't mention it. Okay? Yes, I think that's what they always tell these people, because the way they avoid it, you see, the name Biafra has been like where you are trying to mention something that is taboo, an abomination, right? They don't want to talk about it. I never knew that why this zoo terrorist state has been doing it has is been because that they did not want us to know how they massacred our people. They do not want the children, the people that are growing up, to know the level of impunity they meted towards our people, because they know that it will aggravate the youth, it will anger us, it will make us to hate them and ask questions. So they try to remove it from the curriculums, from the histories, from everything, conversations in Nigeria. You dare not talk about Biafra. So you will see that Yoruba people will talk about Oduduwa, they don't have problem. They even sing Oduduwa's national anthem, no problem. But you see Biafra, don't talk about it. Talk more of singing any national anthem of Biafra. Nothing like that. So I've come to realize what they have been doing. But you see, they say that you can never be able to stop sun from rising. Okay, so this sun must rise, and is already rising, and that is the rising sun of the Biafra people. So this is what these people are here talking rubbish. I don't want to play all this nonsense analysis that they are doing here. Okay, so let's just move over to the next one. Okay, so PM now posted and says, let it be on record that Nigeria government has tried to kidnap me from Finland several times but failed. The last attempt was 2 suicide bombers who could not enter Finland. They ended up in Denmark after I leaked their plan. They were a few days in Denmark before returning back to Nigeria. Musa and Hope Uzodimma with Ohanes and Igbo criminals were the brain behind all the attempts. After they failed, they will now go to national television to call for Simon Ekpa's arrest. Nigeria is a terrorist government and a threat to the West. Biafra must emerge as an independent country to curb the future threats that will emanate from Nigeria. So that is the write-up from our PM, still in regards to all the crying and wailing of so-called Musa. So PM now posted another Zoo Gota Media journalist, and he says the journalists in Nigeria deliberately misleading their gullible listeners. This is how an average Nigeria engages in fraud. Have you ever seen where I claimed I am IPOB Prime Minister? Upon all the media reportage about Biafra Republic government in exile, these criminals in Nigeria media continue to call IPOB Prime Minister. It's really laughable.
Of Defense Staff actually made a statement yesterday evening. General Christopher Musa, he vowed that Simon Ekpa, the self-proclaimed Prime Minister of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, must be arrested and prosecuted. The Chief of Defense Staff accused Finland of shielding Simon Ekpa. He decried the activities of IPOB in the southeast, demanding the arrest and prosecution of Ekpa. The CDS called on the Nigerian government to take a decisive action, including exploring diplomatic options to curb the menace of the factional leader of IPOB. He said, and I quote, "We have repeatedly complained about the issue of Simon Ekpa. He is in Finland and the Finnish government is giving him all the support and he is doing what he is doing. The comments he is making, people are being killed and nothing is being done. This is democracy. If the European Union is supporting democracy and this is happening and they are not taking action, then they don't mean well for Nigeria." However, let's take a listen to him.
Okay, I will stop it here because we've already listened to the terrorist man saying all those craps. So I just wanted us to listen. You see how this woman, how she used so much energy in reading this fallacy, calling somebody a name that he is not answering, is not bearing. He never told you that he's the leader of IPOB. He calls it very clear, white and black. You can see it very clear that is government in exile, Biafran government in exile. So why are you saying leader of factional IPOB? You are naming him what he is not. He tells you who he is. If you want to report him, report exactly who he is. But you know what? I know exactly the game these guys are playing. I don't know whether the Biafrans, you guys understand what they are doing. PM really understands it. You know, them proscribing IPOB gave them that edge, okay, kind of right to, deal with anything that associates with IPOB as terrorists, okay? Because when you give a dog a bad name, it will be easier for anybody to kill the dog. So that is what they are trying to do. So they gave that bad name to IPOB. So because of that, knowing that Simon Ekpa does not belong to that IPOB, okay, he is not functioning as an IPOB leader, neither member. The people that they are even working with, that are the DOS criminals, have many times said that they should stop calling Simon Ekpa an IPOB member, that he is not. They told them every other thing they believed. Why can't they believe that Simon Ekpa is not an IPOB member? Simon Ekpa is a different person from IPOB. Biafran Republic government in exile is not even an organization, is a government. And this government is recognized in the world because other people that have fought for freedom, many of them established government in exile. PM has already given us some histories surrounding this government in exile. So it's something that has been established very long time ago. Okay, so many other people have literally used it. So it is not a new thing, and if they research, they will see it if they don't know about it. So, but what they are doing is they want to attach that proscribed IPOP so that they will have the kind of legitimacy to be calling Simon Ekpa, our PM, a terrorist. I don't know whether you guys understand this, because if they start calling government in exile does not have any affiliation, does not have any link with IPOP. So they will no longer be able to call government in exile terrorists, because they have not proscribed government in exile. And even, when I'm using the proscription, it's not like that their proscription holds any water, because even in their own courts, there had never been a time they certified the proscription. Actually, the court even annulled it. Yes, it was annulled. So they told them that even nobody should use that word again as proscribed. Barrister Aloy Jumako won that case. But you know what? These guys, they don't obey rule of law. If you listen to this Musa, you will hear when he said that their country practices democracy. That he doesn't know why the European Union and Finnish government will allow Simon Ekpa doing what he's doing, and they know that this is democracy. You will ask these people, is Nigeria a democratic government or country where they practice democracy, where somebody will talk, they will go and kidnap the person, and the person will no longer come back? That's how they kill the person. A man just voiced out something last 2 years or last year. A chief in Lagos, they kidnapped that man. Till today, they have not released him. Many Biafrans have been kidnapped just because they said something and mentioned Biafra. You are gone. Does that such thing happen in a democratic country? So sometimes when these people use all these words, I just laugh. It just baffles me how they have that courtesy to be using words that they know that they are very far away from. That is to tell you how wicked they are. Anyway, we move over to the next one. So here PM now wrote, I told them that we will speak the language they will not understand. And today Musa has confirmed it. I said, we will not go into conventional war with the terrorist states, but in our self-defense, we will fight a war they will never understand. Here is the evidence. So let's play it and hear how Musa said it.
What is the major issue? The military is now so much involved in internal politics. It does look like you're being taken away from your primary assignment and you are doing secondary and leaving the primary. What would you say is your major problem military-wise?
Thank you very much. I'm really very happy to be here, and it's good to be with this forum today. Well, I think as Nigerians, first and foremost, we need to take ownership of what's going on in the country. And when I say ownership, it is not the time for us to start trading blames on who to do it. We are dealing with asymmetric warfare, which is a new kind of warfare. It's different from the conventional term, and that's what we want to make very clear. Conventional warfare is between country to country. Now, asymmetric warfare, you are dealing with non-state actors, people you don't know, people that are your own. I give you some examples. Sometimes when we go on cordon and search operations, the same village you get in, they hide the weapons, catch them, they don't have anything, and you proceed. And they dig out these weapons and fire you from the rear. It is difficult because you don't even know who is your enemy. Everybody is an enemy. There is no front. Everywhere, is a front as much as possible. Now, the challenges we're having is that understanding. I'm happy that it is changing.
Okay, so my people, we heard Musa actually confirmed what PM said. So they are now in a warfare. So he said that they are engaging in an asymmetric warfare, so not a conventional one. So it all boils down to what PM have been saying. So my people, that is where we'll be drawing the curtain of this video. I believe you've seen how it all went down from the 12th of June 2024. Okay, you know, that's the same day that the President Tinubu of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, the day he fell. Alright, so we are stopping here, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to click that subscribing button, and if you like the video, give me thumbs up so that it will encourage me to do more. Alright, click that bell icon so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be well notified. Other than that, have a beautiful day. Shalom.